Have you ever looked back at a moment in your life and realized that something important passed by quietly and never came back? Not because you failed, not because you were incapable, but because you were simply not ready when it arrived. This is one of the most common regrets people carry, the belief that opportunity will be obvious, that it will arrive at the right time with clear signals when everything feels stable and convenient. But that is not how opportunity works. Opportunity does not wait for permission. It does not announce itself or explain why it matters. It appears suddenly, often at inconvenient moments, disguised as ordinary situations that do not look special at first glance. Most people only recognize opportunity after it is gone. They see it clearly in hindsight when it is too late to act, and in that moment they blame timing, luck, or circumstances. But the real question is not when your opportunity will come. The real question is whether you will be ready when it does, because opportunity arrives on its own schedule. Readiness is the only part you control. To understand what readiness really looks like, you need to meet Daniel. Daniel is not exceptional on paper. He is not famous. He is not well-connected. He is a 32-year-old waiter who has spent 8 years working in an upscale restaurant in a busy city. Not because serving food was his dream, but because it paid the bills while he quietly worked towards something bigger. Daniel wanted to become a business consultant. He had a degree. He took additional courses. He prepared presentations and case studies that no one had ever asked to see. There were no shortcuts, no mentors opening doors, no lucky phone calls changing his life overnight. From the outside, it looked like he was standing still. But in reality, Daniel was in motion the entire time. His story is not about talent or privilege. It is about patience, about discipline, about continuing to prepare even when there is no guarantee it will pay off. Because extraordinary outcomes do not require extraordinary beginnings. They require ordinary people who stay ready long enough for opportunity to finally notice them. Here is part 3. Written to continue seamlessly from part 2, consistent in tone and technique, under 200 words, and suitable for YouTube narration. What truly set Daniel apart was not his dream, but how he treated the life he was already living. To most of his coworkers, the job was temporary. They arrived late, complained about customers, and did only what was required to get through the shift. The work felt meaningless to them because it was not their final destination. Daniel saw it differently. Every shift he showed up prepared. His uniform was clean and pressed. His shoes were polished. He studied the menu until he understood every ingredient, every pairing, every detail behind each dish. Not because anyone asked him to, but because he believed his work deserved his full attention. Others laughed at him. They told him he was trying too hard for a job that did not matter. But Daniel knew something they did not. Excellence is not about being seen. It is about being ready. The way you handle small responsibilities is how you train for larger ones. Preparation is not something you switch on when opportunity appears. It is something you practice every day in the moments that seem ordinary when no one is paying attention. This mindset did not come from nowhere. It came from a simple lesson Daniel learned from his grandfather. His grandfather believed that luck is not something you wait for. Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity. And the problem is that opportunity never waits for you to prepare. So Daniel did not wait for approval or encouragement before investing in himself. During short breaks at work, he read business books instead of scrolling through his phone. At home, he practiced speaking clearly and confidently even when there was no audience. He kept his consulting portfolio updated and ready on his phone despite months passing without anyone asking to see it. Some nights his roommate questioned why he kept working so hard when nothing seemed to be changing. Daniel never argued. He simply stayed consistent. Most people prepare only after opportunity shows up. By then, it is already too late. Daniel prepared while waiting. He treated quiet time as training, not as wasted time. His discipline was not driven by results or recognition. It was driven by the belief that one day preparation would matter. Then came a Friday night that tested everything Daniel had been preparing for. The restaurant was overwhelmed. Every table was full. The kitchen was behind. Several staff members were absent. Stress filled the room and everyone was just trying to survive the shift. This was not a calm or ideal moment. It was chaotic and exhausting. In the middle of it all, Daniel was asked to take over a table unexpectedly. A VIP guest had just arrived. His name was Robert Chen, the chief executive of a major consulting firm. Daniel recognized the name immediately. The weight of the moment hit him all at once. For a brief second, fear surfaced. Doubt tried to take control. But then something else happened. Clarity replaced fear. Daniel understood that this was not random. This was not bad timing. This was the moment he had been preparing for, even though he never knew what it would look like. Opportunity rarely arrives when life is quiet and comfortable. It arrives when you are tired, busy, and under pressure. To the unprepared, it feels like stress. To the prepared, it feels like possibility. When Daniel approached the table, he did not try to impress. He did not exaggerate. He did not force confidence. He simply did his job with care and focus. He answered questions clearly. He explained menu details with depth and accuracy. He made thoughtful recommendations based on real knowledge, not memorized lines. His calm did not come from pretending to be important. It came from being prepared. As the conversation continued, the questions slowly changed. They moved beyond food and into judgment. Subtle tests, quiet observations, moments that reveal how someone thinks under pressure. Daniel did not rush. He listened. He responded with honesty and clarity. There was no arrogance, no apology, no performance, just steady professionalism. This is what preparation looks like in real life. It creates calm when others feel pressure. It allows you to deliver value without asking for validation. It turns ordinary moments into defining ones. If this feels familiar, pause for a moment. Ask yourself where you can improve your preparation today. Do one small thing with excellence. Because when opportunity is watching, effort never goes unnoticed. Then the moment arrived, quietly disguised as a simple question. Robert looked up and asked what Daniel did outside of waiting tables. For many people, this is the question they fear most. Not because it is difficult, but because they are not ready to answer it with confidence. Daniel did not hesitate. He did not apologize for his job. He did not minimize himself. He spoke clearly about his education, his continued studies, and the work he had been preparing in the background. He described his current role not as a limitation, but as part of a longer journey he was intentionally building. In that moment, readiness showed itself. Not just in skills, but in how Daniel saw himself. He neither exaggerated nor hid. He simply told the truth with confidence. Opportunity often arrives as a single question. One moment that asks who you are and what you have been preparing for. After listening, Robert shared a lesson he had learned long before success ever found him. He explained that opportunity is like rain. You cannot control when it comes. You cannot schedule it or predict it, but you can decide how you stand when it falls. Most people walk through life holding umbrellas. They protect themselves from uncertainty. They choose comfort, routine, and predictability. And when opportunity arrives, they block it out without realizing it. But successful people stand differently. They accept discomfort. They expect uncertainty. They stand with empty buckets ready to collect whatever falls from the sky. Daniel understood immediately. All the years of preparation were not wasted effort. They were the bucket he had been carrying without knowing when the rain would come. Success is not a single moment. It is a posture, a way of standing in the world, ready before you need to be. When Daniel received the business card, he did not celebrate. He did not assume the work was finished. He understood that opportunity had opened a door, not crossed the finish line. That same night, he went home and prepared. He reviewed his case studies. He researched the company in detail. He practiced how he would explain his thinking clearly and calmly. He treated the upcoming meeting as a moment that mattered. This is what most people misunderstand about readiness. It is not a single act. It is a process that continues even after opportunity appears. When Daniel walked into the interview, he was not trying to impress. He was revealing years of quiet preparation. Knowledge that others believed was wasted on a waiter became his greatest advantage. Preparation compounds. It builds strength long before it is visible. When opportunity arrives, it does not create success. It exposes what is already there. Daniel's story is not really about Daniel. It is about the way he chose to live before anything changed. This is not a story about luck. It is a story about mindset and behavior. Opportunity arrives on its own timeline. It shows up quietly, often hidden inside ordinary moments, uncomfortable conversations, and responsibilities that do not feel important at the time. The lesson is simple but powerful. Every moment is preparation. Opportunity rarely looks impressive when it arrives. And the difference between people who seem lucky and those who do not is readiness. You cannot control when opportunity comes. You cannot force it to appear, but you can control how you show up every day. Starting now, choose one skill that matters for the life you want. Spend time preparing it even if no one is watching. Keep your work organized. Treat everyday moments like they could matter, because one day they will. If this story resonated with you, share it with someone who needs to hear it. Leave a comment with the one skill you are going to prepare starting today. Stay ready, because opportunity never waits.